Hey friends, welcome to the channel. If you want to know what I've been up to in 218 hours learning Spanish so far, keep watching. Los geht's! My name is Justin, I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us to be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Today I want to give you a quick update about my Spanish learning. I have started to learn this language because I got more and more the opportunity to go to Spain because of my job, as well as it drove me crazy to hear people speaking Spanish around me and I couldn't understand or participate. There's such a huge Spanish speaking community worldwide. In this video we will start with what I've done in detail, then how much time I've spent in total, what the next steps are, and last but not least my sentiments towards the Spanish language. Let's dive into today's, first, you know it. Let's have a nice sip of coffee. Let's dive into today's topic. As you can see here, I've made quite some progress with my goals, but there's still lots to do, and also I have procrastinated a bit on the LingQ mini stories, but we'll get there. Let's start first with what you can see here, which is that I also do daily for a few minutes Anki flashcards to get some high frequency words hammered into my brain, and also phrases that I found useful to know, which I have catched up during the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge or consuming other content. Now let's come to the goals that I've already achieved. I have watched my first full-length documentary. Well, it was only 1 hour, but well. It was on Netflix and called No Nos Gusta, Capitan, Morcilla, which is about the video game industry in Spain in the 80s and 90s. Really interesting, and I could actually follow along, but I've also activated the Spanish subtitles, to be fair. I was surprised that I've been ready for that. It took me way longer in the other Romance languages to be able to watch stuff and also enjoy it. Then I've also watched a film called Roma on Netflix with Spanish subtitles. This movie has won an Oscar and delivers a realistic picture of people living in Mexico in the 1970s in midst of domestic and political turmoil. It's all in black and white and really gets you into a strange mood. It was truly touching and has a length of over 2 hours. I could definitely get along well because it's in general more slow paced and the camera isn't moving too much, which helped me with the comprehension. And I can highly recommend this film. I have started learning Spanish doing the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge. I've also made a little video series about this and you can watch it somewhere here. It's basically a small class online course and I did 60 days in a row, each day for 1 hour, where you also start to speak from day one. It has been a really intensive and very effective exercise. I've also finished learning the 1000 most useful words with drops in Spanish, and I keep doing drops for 5 minutes each day until I start learning my next language. Then I will most likely switch over. I've just lately made another in-depth review video of drops and you can also find it here. And I've also played through the game Pedros Adventures in Spanish, which is a nice point-and-click adventure made for language learners. It's really sweet and has been a pleasure to spend time with. I would love to have more games like this. If you want to know more, I've already made also a full review on this channel and you can find the video somewhere here. Now let's have a look at what I'm currently doing. First of all, I'm working on getting the 10,000 known words at LingQ, but this happens on the side when I'm reading and listening the videos of Linguriosa within the app, which is another goal of mine, to study them all. I really like how Elena is explaining grammar as well as interesting topics like accents and the history of the Spanish language. She does that in a funny and sketchy way, and it's no wonder that her channel grew that fast and now counts almost 500,000 subscribers. What I've been a little bit procrastinating on is listening to the Spanish mini stories at LingQ for 10 times each. I'm already a bit too advanced for that, but normally you can still learn something new by listening to them repeatedly if you force yourself to notice. So probably I need to plan to spend a few minutes each day on that. And talking about procrastinating, the reason I've done that has been the Duolingo Spanish podcast, which is super well made and interesting to listen to. But now I understand 100% it's probably already too easy, but I'm almost finished anyway. And it's completely for free. And if you want, you can also read the transcript online. Currently, I'm also running an experiment to play through Duolingo in Spanish in order to make a test video about this app in future, since it's the most used language learning app worldwide and I've been bashing it a bit. I felt the responsibility to give it a thorough review, and I can already say it's pretty addictive. So they are obviously doing many things right, and there are boring apps out there that could really use some more gamification. And last but not least, I've been currently still working my way through the full Spanish course in LanguageTransfer, which is basically an audio course to learn a language through thinking. A really interesting approach and a good way to get into a new language. I'm a little bit through half of the course, but you really need to sit down and fully focus, which is why I haven't finished it yet. It's completely for free, and if you are interested, here's also a video review that I did a while ago. I'm always tracking my time spent with languages and other stuff using a tool called Clockify. In future I will most likely change it because there are some with better features, integrations and automations. Currently I'm still tracking manually, but I'm already preparing for the shift to probably toggle track. I will also make a video where I will show you how to automate your time tracking once everything has been set up. I have just started learning Spanish this year, and so far I've spent around 218 hours doing the previously mentioned activities. It sounds like a lot already, but according to the FSI, Spanish requires about 600 hours to get it to a solid level. On the other hand, my exposure to other Romance languages definitely speeds things up here. Now let's come to the comprehension, which consists of reading and listening. So my comprehension is better than I thought. I can watch YouTube videos, series, as well as full movies already. Soon I will also try to read my first book without help. If that works out, I guess I can say that I'm probably already at a B2 level. Then let's come to the language production, which consists of writing and speaking. As said, I've only spoken during the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge and then done some talking to myself as well as thinking in Spanish, which has been interesting. But of course, I'm aware that I need lots of practice to get anywhere. Can't really tell where I am with that on a CEFR scale. I guess I can get along, but it doesn't make sense to rate myself yet. So I want to finish up all the planned steps and then also come up with a conversation script fast and get to do my first real conversation. That should happen after my Italy trip in September. I don't want to do that before to not interfere too much with my Italian. Once that is done, I want to have conversations online with teachers one-on-one. And I will aim to have 10 hours to start with, like 10 times 1 hour. This isn't too overwhelming, but it'll get me going, and yeah, I think then I should be good to progress further. Then I also want to read all Pepper and Carrot comics. So I found that just recently online, and it's a free comic series which has been translated in a multitude of different languages. There's not too much text, but they also have languages like Tokipona or other exotic languages, so definitely check it out. I really like it. Then I want to listen to all Duolingo Inglés podcast episodes, and it's actually a podcast for native Spanish speakers who want to learn English. So the stories are the other way around, so you get the explanation in Spanish and then you get English dialogues. And yeah, I think that might be a good idea to consume all of them to get my comprehension even a little bit further. And the quality is as good as in all the other Duolingo podcasts. Then I want to read my first paper book, Ojos de Agua from Domingo Vilar, which is a crime thriller that a friend of mine recommended to me. Or he actually recommended the second part of it, but I want to start reading the first part. Please go out to Urko if you are watching this. And yeah, this is the book. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully like this. Yeah. And if I notice that this one is too hard for now, then I will first read something else that I've already read in another language to get my comprehension to the right level. I've already made a video about how to read your first novel in a foreign language, and I will also link it somewhere here. Then I want to work on my accent doing the mimic method again. So somewhere in future after my Italy trip and when there's a time window. It really helped me with my French accent, and I would love to have a really good Spanish accent as well. It would also be cool to learn a Spanish song by heart. something really challenging, fast rap also, and this also helped me with my French accent back then when I memorized full songs. I also already made a video about improving an accent with songs, and I will also link it somewhere here. It has been one of my earlier videos, so yeah, please apologize for my nervousness back then and for the quality, but the content is still good, I would say. And then I could imagine doing another Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge beginning of next year maybe, but I'm not sure yet, since I also want to tackle other projects. Are there any apps you wanted me to test in detail and make a full review about, or any programs? Whatever it is, I'll buy it and test it for you, no problem. It would also be interesting at some point to dive into Spanish literature like Cien, Años de Soledad or Don Quixote, but at the current point in time I guess that might be a bit too advanced. Maybe with a link that could work out. So far I haven't really used the language other than consuming content or actually learning it actively. Of course, at the beginning during the Lingoda Super Sprint Challenge I have talked a bit each day and also have seen people from all over the world. But we were following a curriculum there. What I could notice so far is that there's quite some interference from French and Italian, since I've spent so much time with those two languages. On the other hand, I can really tell that I'm way further after that short amount of time with Spanish than I have been, for example, with French. But there's no wonder, because there is lots of similar vocabulary as well as even similar grammatical structures. One thing that I really need to get established and that I haven't gotten yet is an emotional connection with Spanish. But I'm confident that once I start talking and make human connections, as well as dive deeper into the Spanish culture, it'll be fine. In the end, everything is about the connection with others. This is what language is for, to exchange thoughts and feelings, language being the bridge. And to be honest, I can't wait for it. Please let me know in the comments if it was okay that I made this video in English or if I should have done it in Spanish. I wasn't sure, to be honest, since not everybody of you might be learning Spanish. And I would have, of course, also provided English and Spanish subtitles. Also let me know if you have any resources that you can recommend. And I've got more videos about learning Spanish if you're interested, and I will link them somewhere here. If you found the video useful, please leave me a like and a subscription to the channel, and to not miss anything going forward, click also on the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and see you the next time.